Hi, my name is Catherine P. Axtero and my group members are Judy Ann Busa and April Isaig, and we are going to discuss the lesson 6 entitled MTB-MLE curriculum and the different approaches in teaching MTB-MLE. So listen carefully. Thank you. Good day everyone. Magandang araw sa lahat. Mayad nga adlaw sa tanan. Ang huli ko pong ginamit na dialect ay tinatawag na karaya o kiniraya. Ito po yung ginagamit namin na salita sa Romblon, kung saan ito ay pinagsamang Hiligaynon at Ilonggo na salita. At masaya ako na meron akong language 1, language 2, at language 3. So, my first topic will be different language context. So, when we say context, it is a condition in which something occurs or exists. So, which means it is synonymous to the word setting. So, it will be different language settings. So, the first setting is the rural setting, which pertains to provinces where you can see farmer, something like that. And said here that they are using homogeneous language, which means they're using the same or similar kind of language. And in this kind of setting, they are using the language 1 as the mode of instruction. And the next setting is the urban setting, which pertains to cities. And they are using a multilingual mix. So when we say multilingual, it means more than 2 languages. And said here it is they're using multilingual mix. So bakit multilingual mix? Ibig sabihin sa urban setting, sa isang tao magkakaibang 3 language yung kaya niyang sabihin. Halimbawa sa akin, sa urban setting tayo, ako kaya kong magsalita ng Karaya, ng Tagalog, at saka ng English. Samantalang yung classmate ko naman, kaya niya magsalita ng Tagalog, English, at Waray. So, isa rin sa dahilan kung bakit sa urban setting nagkakaroon ng multilingual mixed language dahil yung mga taga-provinces lumuluwas dito sa urban or dito sa cities para magtrabaho. At isa rin sa dahilan kung bakit may multilingual mixed language dito sa urban setting ay yung mga schools dito sa urban settings ay nag-o-offer ng language teaching program. And the next one is the rural and urban setting. So magkahalo na sila. And they are using 2 to 3 languages. In this part, there are some instances na kahit nasa rural settings ka pa, may makikilala ka pa rin dyan na bilingual or kaya mo salita ng 2 languages. Hindi lang siya homogeneous o same lang yung sinasabi nilang salita. Meron ka dyang makikilala na kayang mag-Tagalog, kayang mag-Karaya ng sabay. Tapos, merong kahit naman sa urban setting, hindi lahat naman yan multilingual, di ba? Meron dyan na Tagalog at Bisaya lang yung kayang sabihin. So the next topic is the MTB-MLE, which stands for Mother Tongue Based Multilingual Education. So it is an education program that take into account the mother language or home language of the child. So it is proven that this MTB-MLE program can help a child to become a bilingual or multilingual at school, and starts with using the home language or the language that the child knows best or knows well, which is the mother tongue. So proven na talaga siya na mas naiintindihan ng bata yung instruction sa school kapag yung ginagamit ng teacher na language is yung ginagamit niya sa kanyang everyday lives. So the next topic is learning a new language. So it could be informal or formal. So sa informal, andyan yung at home at saka business. Sa at home naman, to based on my experiences, may kaibigan yung mama ko, so lagi siya pumupunta sa bahay namin. So ngayon may sinasabi siyang salita na hindi ko alam, hindi ko siya maintindihan. So hanggang sa ko siya narinig, nakaka-curious na ako kung ano ibig sabihin. So nagtanong na ako, syempre, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng ganito, ng ganyan, hanggang sa naiintindihan ko na yung mga sinasabi niya, hanggang sa napapasok ko sa sarili ko na nagagamit ko na siya, yung salita mismo niya. So through that, I learned a new language. And the next naman is yung business. So sinasabi dito na one can benefit from the other language a certain person knows. So, yung naisip ko dito example is again experience ko, yung nagbebenta pa ako ng hinog na mangga. May lumapit sa aking babae. Kung maintindihan yung sinasabi niya, as ngayon lumapit, yung time na yun kasama pa yung auntie ko, nagbebenta rin siya, pero mansanas naman. Lumapit siya, at sobrang tuwa ko kasi, naintindihan niya yung sinasabi ng babae. Yung pala, yung salitang ginagamit ng babae, waray. Sobrang hirap intindihin. Tapos, yung palang gusto niya mangyari, bibili siya sa akin ng 2 kilong hinog na mangga. So, syempre, sobrang tuwa ko na mabebentahan yung paninda ko. So, through that, nag-benefit ako dun sa salitang waray na kaya ng auntie ko. And, the next is the formal. O, yung sa schools. So, syempre, meron diyang mga language teaching programs. At, isang halimbawa niyan is yung sa STI. Mayroon akong kaibigan na nag-aral sa STI. So, required sa kanilang kumuha ng subject na yon. Pinapapili sila, it's either Japanese or Korean. So, yun lang. The next topic is linguistic threshold hypothesis. So, linguistic threshold means it is the necessary point that a bilingual student must reach in order to benefit from bilingualism. So, this hypothesis came from the so-called threshold theory, which is proposed by Cobbins in the year 1979. So, in this theory, it has 3 floors: the lower floor, the middle floor, and the top floor. So, the top floor is the bilingual student must reach the top floor in order to benefit from bilingualism. So the next topic is the languages considered by DepEd in its MTB-MLE implementation. So the first one is Ilocos, Pangasinan, Kapampangan, Tagalog, Bicol, Waray, Ligaynon, Cebuano, Maranao, Chabacano, Maguindanaon, at Tausog. And in this part, sobrang nakakatuwa at the same time challenging kasi sobrang dami ko tinanungan, mga classmate ko dito, classmate sa probinsya, teachers, kapitbahay, mga ka-course ko, and even sa mga Facebook pages para lang tanungin kung ano yung translation ng phrase na kaya mo yan dun sa 12 languages na to. So sobrang saya lang kasi sobrang daming tumulong. So nung sa Ilocos ay kayam ata o malibanam ata. Sa Pangasinan, saragmutan. Sa Kapampangan, agyo mo yan. Sa Tagalog, syempre, kaya mo yan. Sa Bicol naman, kaya moan. Sa Waray, kaya itni mo o kaya mo iton. Sa amin naman, sa salitang Karaya, kaya tanimuran o kaya nimuran. So, ayun, continuation lang. Sa Hiligaynon, sarangan mo na o kasarang ka na. Sa Cebuano, kaya na nimo. Sa Maranao, kigagang kanan. Sa Chabacano, puedes hacerlo or tu puedes hacerlo. Sa Maguindanao naman, magagang na yung kainan. Sa Tausog, kagausan mo yan. So, yung dito sa Maranao, sa Maguindanao, tsaka sa Tausog, sobrang thankful ako kasi meron akong 2 classmate na Muslim. So, ano kasi yan language ng mga Muslim yan. So, kaya hindi ako ganun nahirapan na hanapin yung translation ng salitang kaya mo yan. So my last topic is the linguistic interdependence hypothesis. So in this one, the bilingual development, the literacy, and the language skills can be transferred from one language to another. And when we say linguistic interdependence, the two or more languages are depending on each other. For example, the Karaya or Kiniraya. It is our dialect and it is a mix Hiligaynon and Ilonggo language. So through Hiligaynon and Ilonggo, Karaya was formed. So through with that, the Karaya dialect is depending on the two said languages. And as I said earlier, linguistic interdependence is the relation or pertains to two or more languages. And I use Karaya, Hiligaynon, and Ilonggo as an example of linguistic interdependence. And babo nga salamat sa pakikinig. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Thank you so much for listening. So, Ma'am Busa will be the next reporter. Thank you.
Next is the typical multilingual education program such as Strong Bridge and Strong Foundation. Strong Bridge refers to an essential difference between multilingual education programs and rural mother tongue education. Programs is the inclusion of guided transition from learning to the mother tongue to learning to another tongue, kung saan magkakaroon ng matibay na tulay ng pagkatuto na magamit sa pasalita, pagsulat o pagbasa ng mga lingwahe na di pangkaraniwang ginagamit sa turo ng paggamit muna ng pangunahing lingwahe. Sumunod, ang strong foundation. According to research, that children whose early education is in the language of their home tend to do better in the later years of their education, which is true. Next slide, stages of an multilingual education program. A widespread understanding of multilingual education programs suggests that introduction take place in the following stages. First stage, learning takes place entirely in the child's home language, kung saan sa pagbibigay ng instruction ay kinakailangang gamitin ang pangunahing lingwahe ng mga mag-aaral na ginagamit nila sa kanilang tahanan. Pangalawa, building fluency in the mother tongue, kung saan ang pangalawang lingwahe ay pinapakilala na sa mga mag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng instructions. Pangatlo, building oral influency in L2 or second language. Dito, ang mga mag-aaral ay mahusay na sa paggamit ng pangalawang lingwahe. Halimbawa, ang salitang Ingles. Then, what kind of learners does multilingual education intend to produce? Multilingual education aims to produce learners who are A. Multiliterate. Ito ay pagkakaroon ng maraming kakayanan bumasa at sumulat ng iba't ibang lingwahe. Children can read and write competently in a local language, the national language, and one or more languages of wider communication such as English. B. Multilingual o pagkakaroon ng kakayahang gumamit ng iba't ibang lingwahe. They can use these languages in various situations and interactions for learning in school. C. Multicultural, pagkakaroon ng iba't ibang kultura sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng iba't ibang lingwahe, pasalita man o pasulat. They can live and work harmoniously with people of cultural backgrounds that are different from their own. They are compatible living and working with people from outside their community while maintaining their love and respect from their home culture and community. Next, what do Philippines stakeholders says about multilingual education? Department of Education said that we find the bill to consistent with the basic education sector reform agenda, recommendations, and the bridging model proposed by the Bureau of Elementary Education, where pupils were found to comprehend between lessons in class. Neda said that from the economy and financial vantage points, we believe that adopting this education policy in the final analysis is the cost effect, the known learning inefficiencies in the basic education in the Philippines are largely attributed to learning difficulties of children in the early grades, which are given rise, among others, by the use of language of learning and teaching that is alien to them. Philippine Business for Education said that English and Filipino are languages foreign to most children, and legislating in either as medium of instruction will do more harm to an already existing alien system of education. The FA said that the order of the things in the UN and in the world, the unique richness, the world's national identities draws on the many traditions that make up different countries, are expressed through local and indigenous languages. UNESCO supports mother tongue instructions as a means of improving educational quality by building upon the knowledge and experience of the learners and the teachers. Linguistic Society of Philippines said that the Philippines is a context for which multilingual education cannot be more correct. There is substantial information from the past research as well as more recent studies in the Philippines and around the world that prove that the use of the mother tongue is the best option for literacy and education in multilingual societies such as Philippines. Next, important task in formulating a community. The base multilingual education programs includes the following. First, conduct preliminary research kung saan ang school administrators and facilities, faculties ay magsasagawa ng research about sa effectiveness of this program. Next, mobilize resources and develop linkages. Sa pamamagitan nito, ang bawat mag-aaral sa bawat lalawigan ng ating bansa ay magkakaroon ng magandang relasyon at koneksyon. Pangatlo, recruit and train staff. It aims to train school administrators and faculties for this program. Ang pagkakaroon ng training para sa mga staff ay mas makakatulong upang maging aware and equip sila sa pagpapatupad ng programang ito. Pang-apat, develop a writing system. Aim to have its own writing system that is not based in other country, kung saan mas mapapayaman ang sistema ng ating pagsulat na hindi nakadepende sa iba. Panglima, develop curriculum and instructional materials. It aims to produce materials that are primarily visible in one's own environment where teaching materials will be more local, kung saan mas magbibigyang pansin ang mga bagay na pangunahing nakikita sa ating kapaligiran. Pang-anim, develop literature. Further expand the literature of our country. Pang-pito, evaluate the program and document progress. There will be general monitoring of the implementation of the program, whether it has a good factor in the learning of the students. Pagbibigay ng judgment sa programang ito kung magkakaroon ba ng progress sa mga mag-aaral. Mas matutulungan ba ang mga mag-aaral na gamitin ang kanilang pangunahing lingwahe sa pag-aaral? At ang panghuli ay coordinate the program.
Good day, everyone. I'm the last reporter of our group. My topic that I will discuss for today is all about the 5E model, instruction, model of plan. And the second topic is the K-12 mother tongue curriculum and the MTB-MLE curriculum. So let's proceed to the 5E model instruction, model of plans, which includes the progressive stage, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. First 5E is engage. Transition from, which is I tell them or show them to helping students reflect on what they already know and ask questions about what they don't yet understand, which propels them toward an initial feeling of dissatisfaction. First, instructors open a lesson with an activity or question meant to engage students, snag their interest, and offer the opportunity for them to share what they already know on the subject. This space might include helping them to make connection between their pre-existing knowledge based the new ideas that will come down the pipeline in the lesson or unit. The next 5E is explore. Moves away from thoughts, which is I give them, I demonstrate, or they developing a model and gathering data. After engage comes explore, in which students carry out hands-on activities through their experiments or other interaction with the material. They deepen their understanding of the content. Next, 5E is explain. No longer means turning and talking, but having a carousel discussion or asking questions like what did and what was. Now, it means digging deeply into where the question has been answered or the problem solved and using evidence to support time. As they've explored, students attempt to explain what they have learned and experienced with help from the teacher, who only then explain concepts or terms encountered during exploration. The next 5E is elaborate, is about reading, watching, or introducing new ideas, and more about forging the incredibly valuable concept to self, concept to concept, and concept to world connection that help tie anchor and investigative process, hypothesis, and anchor phenomena. From there, students elaborate on their understanding, applying what they've learned to new situations to deepen their skills. The last 5E is evaluate. Cannot simply mean vocabulary assessments or graded journal anymore. Now it means reflecting critically on investigative process, the hypothesis, and the anchor phenomena. In the final phase, students evaluate reflecting on providing evidence of their new understanding of the material. K-12 Basic Education Curriculum and MTB-MLE Curriculum Framework. Introduction Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education, MTB-MLE, is the government's banner program for education as a salient part of implementation of the K-12 Basic Education Program. In-implement ito para magamit sa loob ng classroom, whether non-formal or formal. Dapat mother tongue yung ginagamit na wika kasi syempre kapag sariling wika nila yung gamit sa pag-aaral, mas natututo yung mga bata at mas naintindihan nila. And at the same time, mas lumalalim yung language proficiency at comprehension ng mga bata. MTB-MLE curriculum framework are surrounded by three factors, which is the cultural factors, political, sociological, and psychological factors. And second, language development. It composed in Filipino, English, and other language or provincial dialects. while the academic development is composed of math, science, social science, and arts. And the cognitive development, it composed the mother tongue as a subject in grade 1 to 3, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and viewing. Critical thinking, oral competence, confidence, knowledge of language, structured reading, and creative writing. Second is mother tongue as language of learning. Comprehension of academic content, curriculum, mastery, creative, and critically thinking. The mother tongue based as a string foundation learning theory, theory of language, theory of acquisition, nature of learner, nature of language. That's all. Thank you for listening.